Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the NFL 2024 season, Week 11 predictions. Where tomorrow we'll start the Week 11 with the Thursday Night Football. So, for that reason, I'm going to do what I did the last 10 videos, where I'm going to talk about the games that will be played this week, and I'm going to give my prediction. Let's see how many results I am correct in the end of the week. So, first, remember that in this week there will be a bye week by 4 teams. This week, the teams that won't play will be the Arizona Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants, the Panthers and the Giants playing abroad in Germany, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So in this week there will be only 14 games. So let's start. Well, how I told you in the beginning of the video, tomorrow we'll start the week 11 with the Thursday Night Football, where the Philadelphia Eagles will receive the Washington Commanders and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and 2015 Eastern Time. This will be a tremendous game. To be honest, it will be a tremendous game, and this is a divisional game. And in this game, is in play the leadership of the NFC East. Remember that the last week the Eagles didn't have any problem, and they humiliated and defeated the Cowboys by 26 point difference, and the Commanders lost against my Steelers by 1 point difference. In this moment, the Eagles are leading the division with the record 7-2, and they have 5 straight victories. And the Commanders are in the second place. They lost the first place. They were leading this division for more than 5 weeks, and they have a record of 7-3. So this will be a tremendous game. It's in game the leadership of this the first play of this division, and I think that the Eagles are going to win this division because they have five straight victories, and the Commanders the last game, especially Jalen Daniels played his worst game of the season. So I think because the Eagles have better team than the Commanders and they will play at home, I think that the Eagles will win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. And the Monday and the Sunday, sorry, we'll have a games in the first shift and 13 o'clock Eastern time, where the first game, the Miami Dolphins will receive Las Vegas Raiders, and Miami, Florida, and the I don't know, the Hardcore Stadium. So the last week, remember that the Dolphins travel to coast to the West Coast, and they defeated the Los Angeles Rams by 8 point difference. And Las Vegas Raiders had is by week. In this moment, the Dolphins are in the second place in the AFC East with a record of 3-6. It looks impossible that they can enter to the playoffs, but this is not impossible. And the Riders are in the bottom of the AFC West with a record of 2-7, and they have 5 straight losses. So in this moment, it's very difficult to enter to the playoffs. If you asking me, I think that the Raiders are eliminated, and the Dolphins had a little percentage to enter to the playoff, but it's not impossible. So about this game, I think that the Dolphins are going to win this game because they will play in home. They have Tua Tagovailoa is playing, and even that the Raiders had a bye week, I think that the Dolphins will win this game by more than 14 point difference. In another game, the New Orleans Saints will receive the Cleveland Browns and New Orleans. Louisiana, remember that the last week the Saints, sorry, defeated the Falcons by 3 point difference, and they cut a 7 straight losses. And the last and because remember the last week they fired his former head coach Dennis Allen, and the Browns had he is by week, and the Saints in this moment they are in the third place in the NFC South with a record of 3-7, and the Browns are in the bottom of the AFC North with a record of 2-7. Both teams are eliminated. It is very difficult to qualify. So I think that this will be a close game, but I think that the Saints will have the advantage because they will play in home. Even that the Browns have come from he is by week, and I think that the Saints are going to win this game by more than 10 point difference. In another game, the New York Jets will receive the Indianapolis Colts there in New Jersey, and MetLife Stadium. Remember that both teams lost the last week. The Jets traveled to Arizona, and they lost miserable, but against miserable they lost by a 25-point difference. They were humiliated, and the Colts lost in home against the Bills by 10-point difference. In this moment, the Jets are trying to qualify to the playoffs. It looks very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. They are in the third place in the AFC East with a record of 3-7, 5 games behind the Bills. And the Colts, they have more possibilities because the East division is very close. In this moment, the Colts, sorry, in this moment the Colts are in the second place in the AFC South with a record of 4-6, and they have 3 consecutive victories. So they are 3 games behind the leader of this division, the Houston Texas. In this moment, I think that the Colts are in the eighth place, and they are 1 game behind the last wild card, the Broncos, and the Jets are in the 11th place in the AFC. They are four plays behind the last wild card spot, the Broncos. So this is a must victory for each team. Remember that now the Indianapolis Colts head coach decided to put again as a starting quarterback the Anthony Richardson. But remember that in the last 2 weeks he said that the starting quarterback for the rest of the season will be Joe Flacco. But since the Joe Flacco was named starting quarterback, he started to play a very bad football. So about this game, this game will be a must game to two teams to win it, to keep the possibilities to enter to the playoffs. So I think this will be a close game, but I think that the difference is that because the Jets are going to play in home, I think that the Jets are going to win this game, and I think that this game will be defined by 1 or 3 point difference, and I think that this game will be defined in the last play of the season, of the game. In another game, the Tennessee Titans will receive the Minnesota Vikings and Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, yes. The last week the Titans traveled to the West Coast, and they lost by 10-point difference against the Chargers. And the Vikings traveled to the Southeast Coast, and they battled a lot, but they defeated the Jaguars by 5-point difference. Even that the Vikings offenses play a very bad football. In this moment, the Titans are in the third place in the AFC South with a record of 2-7, and they are eliminated. And the Vikings in this moment are in the second place in the NFC North with a record of 7-2. About this game, I think that, well, the Titans are eliminated. They don't have an opportunity to enter to the playoffs. And in this moment, the Vikings are the fifth, the best wild card in the NFC. So the Vikings office is not playing a very great football, especially Sam Darnold. He has been playing a very bad football since the last 3-4 weeks, but his defense is tremendous. So I think that the Vikings are going to win this game by 7 or 10 point difference, but we will be with little points. In another tremendous game, the Chicago Bears will receive the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Illinois in the Soldier Field. Sorry, remember the last week the Bears lost at home against the Patriots by 60 points and didn't score any touchdown. They only scored 3 points, and the Packers had is bye week. This is a divisional game in the NFC North, where the Packers are in the third place with a record of the 6-3, and the Bears are in the bottom of the division with a record of 4-3, and they have 3 consecutive losses. In this moment, the Packers are are the last spot in the NFC to enter to the playoffs, and the Bears are in the ninth place. The Bears are 2 games behind the Bikers to enter to the playoffs. So this is a must victory to the Packers. No, sorry, to the Bears if they want to have a hope to enter to the playoffs. And the Packers need to win this game. If not, if the 49ers win their games, they are gonna to win. The Packers will go down 1 position outside of the playoff zone. So I think that it will be a close game, but because the Packers have better team than the Bears, and because they come from a bye week, and because the Bears have a 3 consecutive losses, I think that the Packers are going to win this game by more than 14-point difference. And in another game, the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, the best team in this moment in the league, will receive the Jacksonville Jaguars there in Detroit, Michigan. They will receive the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where the last week, the Detroit Lions traveled to Houston, and they defeated them by 3 point difference in the last play of the game. Even the Jared Goff threw by five interception, but the Detroit defenses played a tremendous game. They avoided more points in the second half, and they won this game. Tremendous. And the Jaguars lost against the Vikings by 3-point difference, even that the East defense collected 3 interceptions. Sorry. In this moment, the Detroit Lions are leading the NFC North and the NFC with the record of A1. They have 7 consecutive victories, and the Jaguars are in the bottom of the AFC South with a record of 2-8. They have 3 consecutive losses. In this moment, they are the worst team in the AFC and they are eliminated. So I think that this will be an easy game for the Lions. I think that they won't have any problem, and it looks like that the Trevor Lions won't play in back-to-back games. So I think this will be an easy game for the Lions, and I think that the Lions are going to win this game by more than 14-point difference. And in another game, the New England Patriots, will receive the Los Angeles Rams and New England, Massachusetts, I think so. The last week, the Patriots did a surprise and they defeated the Chicago, where they traveled to Chicago and they defeated by 16-point difference. The most impressive is that his defense only allowed 3 points in the game, and the Rams lost in the Monday Night Football against the Dolphins by 8-point difference, where they play a very bad football. In this moment, the Patriots are in the bottom of the AFC East with a record of 3-7, and the Los Angeles Rams are in the third place in the NFC West with a record of 4-5. The Patriots have a little possibilities to enter to the playoffs because they still have possibilities, but it looks very difficult because they are 2 games behind the Broncos, but there are 5 teams about them to enter to the playoffs, so it looks difficult to enter to the playoffs. And the LA Rams wasted an important opportunity the last Monday Night Football to win their game and try to enter to the playoffs. In this moment, the Rams are in the 11th position, in the 11th set in the hunt to enter to the playoff. But remember that this division is very close, and if they can start to win 2 or 3 games, they can get in the first place in this division. But remember that there is always difficult for the West Coast teams when they travel to the East Coast in the 13 o'clock Eastern Time games because they suffer a lot. So remember that in this week, in the beginning of this of this season, the Rams traveled to Chicago and they lost it. So I think that this will be the same because the Rams are not a regular team, and even that the Patriots aren't a very great team. I think that the Rams are going to lose this game by 3 or 7-point difference. And the second best game of the day in a divisional game, my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, will receive the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Remember that the last week both teams won their games respectively. The Steelers didn't play a very great football, especially the Russell Wilson, but they did enough to win this game. This is amazing, and this is something great that when the great teams don't play a very great football, but they always find out ways to win the game. This is amazing. They traveled to Washington and defeated 1 point difference the Commanders, and the Ravens defeated the Bengals by 1 point difference in the Thursday Night Football. So in this moment, my Steelers are leading the AFC North with a record of 7-2. They have a 4 consecutive victory, and the Ravens are in the second place with a record of 7-3, and they have a back-to-back victories. This will be a tremendous game, but remember that the Steelers have 3 straight victories against the Ravens, so this will be a tremendous game. I think that the Ravens are a little better than the Steelers, especially Lamar Jackson, but I think that the difference here is that the Steelers will play in home, and always when there is a Steelers against the Ravens game, always the Steelers always find out ways to defeat the Ravens, and I think that the Steelers are the Ravens' kryptonite. So let's see what happens this next Sunday, where I think that the Steelers are going to win this game by 1 or 3-point difference, and they will still lead in the division. And the games that will start in the second shift and for 16:05 and 16:25 Eastern Time will have 3 games. The first game will be another divisional game where the San Francisco 49ers will receive the Seattle Seahawks and Santa Clara, California in the Levi Stadium. So remember that the last week the 49ers traveled to the East Coast, the coast to coast, and they defeated the Buccaneers. Even that they dominate this game, but the East kicker missed 3 field goals. There was some problem with the Devon Samuels that attacked or hit the kicker and the holder, but in the end the kicker scored the field goal, scored the field goal that led the victory. and the Seahawks had is bye week. In this moment, this is a divisional game where the both teams are in the NFC West. In this moment, the 49ers are in the second place with a record of 5-4. They have a back-to-back victories, and the Seattle Seahawks are in the bottom of the division with a record of 5-4 with two back-to-back losses. This is the second time that these two teams play this season, where in the week 6, the 49ers traveled to Seattle and they defeated by 12-point difference and they got the victory. About this game, this is very important because, how I told you a few minutes ago, this division is very close. In this moment, both teams are out of the playoffs, but a victory and some combination can put any of these two teams in playoffs in the end of the week. So I think that this will be a close game, but I think that because the 49ers will play at home, I think that the 49ers are going to win this game by more than 10-point difference. In another game, the Denver Broncos will receive the Atlanta Falcons in Denver, Colorado. The last week, both teams lost their games respectively. The Broncos traveled to Kansas City. They missed the opportunity to defeat the Chiefs. They lost by 2-point difference, where they had the opportunity to win this game, but they missed the field goal. It was an automatic field goal, but the Chiefs are a tremendous team. They are playing a very great football, and for that reason they are undefeated. And the Falcons lost the second game against the Saints by 3-point difference, where his kicker missed 4 field goals, and you 3 or 4 field goals, and you can win if you miss this opportunity, these field goals. In this moment, the Broncos are in the third place with a record of 3-3. They have a back-to-back losses, and the Falcons are leading the NFC South with a record of 6-4. In this moment, the Broncos are in the last set in playoffs. The number 7 in the AFC, and the Falcons are the third place in the NFC. So I think this will be a close game. I think that these two teams are very great teams. But I think that because the Broncos will play in home, I think that the Broncos will win this game by 3-point difference. And in the last game of the second shift and the best game of the week and one of the best game of the season, the Buffalo Bills will receive the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning champion team, and Buffalo, New York. The last week, both teams won their games respectively. The Bills traveled to Indianapolis. They didn't play this very well, but they won the game by 10-point difference. And the Chiefs always find out ways to win the games. They won the game by 2-point difference. Where how I told you a few seconds ago, they blocked the field goal and they won the game, and they are undefeated in this moment. The Bills are leading the AFC East with a record of 8-2. They have a 5 consecutive victories, and the Chiefs, the reigning champion team, are leading the AFC West with a record of 9-0, and they are leading the AFC and the league. This is a rematch of what happened in the divisional round, the last playoff, the last year, where the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Buffalo Bills and they won the Super Bowl. So this will be a tremendous game, but I think that the Bills had all the opportunity to defeat the Chiefs and to got the first loss for the Chiefs. So I think that this will be a tremendous game, but I think that because the Bills are playing a very great football, I think that the Bills are going to win this game by 3 or 7-point difference, and I think that the Chiefs will lose its first game of the season. And I think that if the Bills don't defeat the Chiefs in this game, I think that the Chiefs have a lot of big opportunities to finish undefeated this season. And in the Sunday Night Football, we'll close the Sunday with the game between the Los Angeles Chargers against the Cincinnati Bengals and Inglewood, California, and the SoFi Stadium in 2020 Easter time. The last week the Chargers didn't have any problem and defeated by 10-point difference the Titans, and the Bengals lost against the Ravens by 1-point difference, where the Bengals had the opportunity to tie this game in the second of the game, but they decided to try a 2 points attainment, but they missed it and they lost the game. So the Chargers in this moment are in the second place in the AFC West with a record of 6-3, and they had 3 straight victories. And the Bengals are in the third place in the AFC North with a record of 4-6. In this moment, the Chargers are in the playoff position. They are the second best wild card. and the Bengals are in the ninth place. They are in the hunt to enter to the playoffs. So this is a must to the Bengals to win it, to increase the possibilities to enter to the playoffs. If not, they're going to be eliminated. So this will be a very close game, but I think that the Chargers will have the advantage because they will play in home. So I think that the Chargers are going to win this game by by 3 or 7 point difference. And the game that will close the week will be the Monday Night Football, where this will be a Texans game, where the Dallas Cowboys will receive the Houston Texas and Dallas Texas, yes, Dallas Texas. So the last week the Cowboys are a very bad team. They lost by 26 point difference and they were humiliated. And the Texas, they lost a very incredible way the game where they lost by 3 point difference against the Lions in the last play of the game. And it's not possible how the Texas didn't win this game where they forced for interception. So in this moment the Dallas Cowboys are in the third place in the NFC East with a record of 3-6, and they have four consecutive losses. And the Houston Texans, even that they lost, they are leading the AFC South with a record of 6-4, and they have a back-to-back losses. The Dallas Cowboys are eliminated because they have a little possibilities to enter to the playoffs. And the worst news happened that that Prescott will be out of the season because he will do as a season ending surgery. So they will suffer a lot, and the season is over. And the Houston Texans aren't playing a very great football in comparison of what happened the last week, but because the rest of the teams that are in this division are very bad, for that reason they are leading the division. So I think that the Texans won't have any problem. They will win this game by more than 10 point difference, and they will get the victory after 3 losses. So in this video, I talk about the games that will be playing in the NFL 24 season week 11. I got my prediction and see how many games or results I am correct in the end of the week. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can let me one comment here in my subscribe blog or any of my Spotify or YouTube channel. So this is all for today. See you next video. Gibran.